You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that's known in Japan as Doki Doki Mahou Gaijin Otaku.
What?
Heart-pounding magic foreign nerds. I'm Cody.
I'm Samantha.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Sam. Hey, thank you all for tuning in this week. We have a great show for you. We have a lot of San Diego Comic-Con news, so much that we're going to kind of half skip over check it outs for the most part. If there's a little bit of time at the end of the show, we might fill in with a couple of those, but there's so much news, I don't know if we're going to get to it. But before we get into San Diego Comic-Con news, we're going to take about 5 minutes and talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, because Josh, you finally got a chance to watch it, right?
We've all partaken in it.
Finally.
Actually, I've seen it twice, yeah.
Yes, I have finally watched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Great. So are we going to be getting into any spoilers?
Oh,
or
yeah,
anything?
absolutely.
Might as well.
Okay, so
It's been long enough.
It's been like a month or so we can get into it.
Hey,
Well,
what a good movie, guys,
it's a
am I
super
right?
good- it's a super good movie, yeah.
Absolutely. It's very funny, very good. Breath of fresh air after Infinity War
It's
was
what the
real rough.
it's what the MCU needed,
Yeah.
for sure.
Paul Rudd is just a ray of sunshine.
Yes, he's an absolute joy.
Yeah.
Treasure.
I don't know, just watching him name the ants was pretty funny.
Yeah. But no, everything about it was really good.
Oh, and the giant ant playing Rock Band.
That was great. Yeah, they trained the giant ant for sure. I really liked Evangeline Lilly in it as the Wasp. I think
Yeah.
she did an
She was
excellent.
so much better in this movie than the other one. They really gave her stuff to do this time.
That's it. Yeah.
That was the biggest problem with the original Ant-Man.
No, you can't do that. No.
Why? Although she was going to go into the quantum tunneler, and then they told her, no, you can't do that. But still, it made sense this time.
Yeah.
So she has wing and blasters. You didn't have that tech for me? Oh, I did.
Although they always say what a jerk Hank Pym is. Oh, you're such a self-centered jerk. It's like we never really see that, though.
He's kind of grumpy.
Yeah, from our point of view, he's just kind of a grumpy...
He's surly.
Yeah, he's a surly
I
grandpa.
mean, you kind of see a little bit of it in the first movie, but like in this one, yeah, he's just kind of grumpy. And like a lot of that grump disappears as soon as, Janet comes back.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, now we're in the spoilers.
Yeah.
They get Janet Van Dyne out of the quantum zone.
Yep.
The phantom zone.
Yep, they bring back the old Catwoman.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer, yeah.
A Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and you know what? She did a great job. I mean, she was barely in it.
Yeah, but she looked cool as hell.
She looked really cool.
That like costume they had for her little quantum wastelander outfit is very
It
cool.
kind of reminded me of the DC comic when the atom gets lost in like his,
yeah.
the savage atomic level or whatever.
Yeah, where he finds the
The savage atom or whatever they called that.
Vandal Savage. Zatoms.
But no,
Oh, man,
I liked
those tardigrades.
Yeah, the tardigrades. That was really cool. I liked how the wasp she turned her wings into like a sword or something.
Yeah.
Like on her back. That was really cool.
Yeah, she'd obviously repurposed parts of her suit to survive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought for a second there, I thought it was her wings, and I thought they were just broken. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm interested to see what they do with her in future Marvel movies, because she mentioned that she's changed, and not just because they've given her like vague quantum powers.
I thought for a second they were going to make her like the first mutant, because she said something about it being evolution.
Yeah, they could.
But then they kind of dialed back on it a little bit.
A little bit. Well, Disney didn't have the merger with 20th Century Fox all the way through
That's
yet,
true,
so they couldn't probably say anything.
which was finally just confirmed and allowed to happen
Yeah,
today.
so that is definitely going to happen. Yeah.
So bow to your future Disney overlords.
Yeah, I like Lawrence Fishburne as
Goliath.
Goliath. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he was really
cool.
good. I didn't realize it was him till after the movie for some reason. I'm just like, that guy's really good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Wait,
Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't recognize him without the Jerry curls and cowboy hat.
Exactly.
Or a
Yeah.
leather trench coat and a red pill and a blue pill.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny that Ghost, while she is presented throughout a lot of the movie as like the villain, she's really not really. Like the only real villain of the movie is Walton Goggins,
Yeah.
that mobster guy. He's really the only one.
He was trash.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved how he kept getting his comeuppance.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That was really good.
The bit about the truth serum
The truth
was very
serum.
funny.
It's not
Yeah.
truth serum. It is truth serum.
Yeah.
I'd say it was the funniest Marvel movie if Thor Ragnarok didn't exist.
Yeah. I'd put that up there.
I wouldn't even say it was as funny as the first Guardians.
I'd say it on par with First Guardians.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd put it
Maybe
right
Guardians
up there with it.
2.
Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 were about the same movie.
Just about. Let's see. I like Luis. I'm glad he came back. I'm glad they didn't overplay him telling stories. I was really kind of worried about that.
Once was just
enough. It was perfect. That was really good.
Oh, I
Good
kind of
Baba
like
Yaga.
the FBI agent that was like dealing with.
Oh, he was
Jimmy Woo. Yeah.
Yeah, Randall Park is hilarious.
He's great.
He's also a delight.
Yeah. I hope
what do
he-
you mean you'll see me? Like, are we going out somewhere? I mean, no. I mean, I'll arrest you. I mean, do you want to go out somewhere?
I hope he becomes a recurring character in the Marvel universe.
You know, he's in the comics. Like Jimmy Woo
Yeah,
is
that's
like
a
he's an
character,
established character. Yeah.
I hope he becomes kind of a Nick Fury type character.
That would be cool because
just keeps showing up.
they need it because I mean Sam Jackson can't be doing Nick Fury forever.
Yeah, well,
Even though he's just been doing cameos for the last like whatever things.
well, and he disappeared in a.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
do the
yeah, but I meant
disappearing.
even before
Yeah.
that.
So let's go ahead and talk about the post-credit sequence real quick.
Yeah,
and
'cause
then
you
we'll
gotta
we'll
hit on
move
that.
on. Yeah, we got to talk
What? It was
about
just
it.
an ant playing drums.
Boy,
No, not the post credit. The
Yeah.
mid credits roll.
yeah, which is basically just part of the movie. It's like that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a real sock to the gut.
Oh yeah, you go through
People
this entire.
gasped
Oh,
in the
Yeah.
it
theater. People were
was. Yeah, that was a shock.
Yeah,
That was a surprise.
They're doing their little quantum experiments now that they can go into the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm.
Scott goes down in there, and then the Infinity War disappearance happens. So he's
The
stuck
snap.
in. Ant-Man is now stuck in the quantum realm, and all the other characters in the movie pretty much disappeared.
Yeah. Now, do you think they're going to use that as an excuse to not put Ant-Man in the next Avengers movie, or do you think that's going to be a plot point?
I think Ant-Man is the linchpin to the...
Okay.
Because Janet Van Dyne mentioned something about temporal time travel stuff,
okay.
which I really hope isn't the solution to the Infinity War, but it probably will be.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, that's so hackneyed and like obvious, but you know, it's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, you know, this is the last Avengers movie that's going to have everybody. They got to do something, get everybody together for it. You know?
Yeah.
But no, overall, I would recommend it. I mean, it's probably out of theaters now or pretty close to it.
Go see it at the cheapo theater.
Yeah, spend $1.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, when he gets like super huge next to the boat.
And he gets
yeah.
sleepy. That's so funny.
Yeah.
He gets sleepy when he gets big, apparently.
The whole sequence when they're in the school and he's like toddler
Toddler
size.
size.
And like they get back to the van and Hank Pym's like, do you need a juice box and a nappy?
That was the best.
That was really
That
good.
was like right up there with like Baby Legs Deadpool jokes.
If you're at the Dollar Theater and you're stuck between this movie and Jurassic World 2,
It's this
see
movie.
see Ant-Man.
See this one
Ant-Man.
twice.
Yeah, see it again.
Yeah.
Because Jurassic Park 2 was just okay.
It was
Jurassic
forgettable.
World 2.
It was
yeah,
It was just okay.
It was just okay.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Okay, so we have one other news item before we get into San Diego Comic-Con stuff, and this one is a bit of a bummer, but we wouldn't be a pop culture show that talks about this kind of stuff if we didn't at least mention it. We try to steer clear of like political stuff, so I don't want to get into that end of it if we can.
But the McRib is coming back.
The McRib,
everyone.
I mean, it's, yeah.
No, I don't know that
Yeah, I
for
don't know.
sure. I'm sorry, I can't promise that.
Allegedly, the McRib is coming back. No, James Gunn, who is the director of Guardians 1 and 2 and did the a lot of the consulting on the Guardians portions of Avengers.
War.
Yeah, it was someone with some political, who had some political opposition to what James Gunn believes, went back about 10 years into his old tweets and found some just really, really not good tweets
Bad
that he
taste
made.
jokes.
It's very incredibly bad taste jokes that were done in poor
real
taste.
edgelordy material.
Yeah, they were like, making jokes about, well, the major one was pedophilia, which, like, you don't joke about that stuff.
I mean,
But-
you did back then. It wasn't as big of a deal.
I mean,
like,
I guess, but like, and because this individual found these tweets, and
are we not?
he has,
Are we not saying his name?
I don't want to give the guy
I can get behind that.
Yeah. And
But he was a major Gamergate.
yeah, that guy's
Dude.
not great.
Yeah.
But because this guy has a really large following online, that kind of bolsters around.
buttholes.
Yeah. Yeah. Disney made the decision to remove James Gunn from all future Guardians projects,
Which was a little
extreme.
They kind of jumped the gun on that, James Gunn on that one.
Especially because when he was hired in for Guardians 1, these tweets were brought up before. Like when he was announced as the first, there was a kind of a kerfuffle about these exact like jokes and tweets, and he apologized for them then, saying that, they were made at a time where I was not nearly as well known. I was trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy just to get any kind of press. They were done in poor taste. I see that now. He apologized for him. And Disney and Marvel hired him anyway. So they clearly didn't have a problem with it then. I think it's...
Why didn't he delete them then?
See, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing that he should have nuked his tweets like the second he got hired on to any kind of major project.
As soon as it became kind of an issue,
they should have been gone.
He should have said, "I'm sorry. Now I'm going to delete them."
Yes.
Like, don't delete them without acknowledging it.
Oh yeah, no,
that would be super dirty.
And it's not like he's been
bad.
like trying to talk as we have it. He's completely apologized,
Yeah.
up and down
Oh,
about it.
yes.
He's like, look, I know I sucked.
Yeah, he owns up to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was unjust.
It was unjust in his firing. If there was an issue with the things that he said before, then he shouldn't have been hired to begin with.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of weird that Disney is kowtowing to this individual and his following. I think it's more of a... I understand why Disney did it. Because they're looking at, okay, we have a group of people that if we don't do something about this, they will not support us.
Well, no,
because
they are louder.
They're louder and will make things worse. Or we can fire this guy, and the people that are going to be loud about it will probably still support our things because they're going to support our things because,
The worst part is that this dude that we're not saying the name of tries to go at it from a moral standpoint, like he's the moral crusader here that has uncovered these nasty tweets.
And he this whole event has only bolstered him and his group because they're now going after Patton Oswalt, Michael Ian Black, and Sarah Silverman.
Oh, and they went after Dan Harmon,
They went after Dan Harmon. Well, Dan Harmon, guy's kind of a jerk anyway. I'm not a huge fan of Dan Harmon, but still.
I mean, I've watched Channel 101. It's rough.
The fact that...
But that was the humor of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one other thing I want to say about this, there have been a lot of comparisons to this and Roseanne Barr and her removal from the Roseanne show for her really out of left field tweets, because they're like, okay, well, Roseanne did this one thing and she got fired,
but also
James
Roseanne
Gunn does the other.
Roseanne's wasn't like 12 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And Roseanne doesn't think she did anything wrong.
Roseanne didn't apologize. Roseanne didn't say these 10 years ago and say, error of my ways. Roseanne,
I've learned, I've become a better person. No.
Yeah, I've, rethought my stance on things. Hers are recent. Well, anyway, I say that we're in support of,
rehiring James
rehiring him or doing something. And now, a lot of the news articles have led with he's been fired from Guardians, and that's true. He's not directing Guardians. They're still using his plot treatment for Guardians 3. He is still around in an advisory role for the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe when it comes to the cosmic. He's in charge of the cosmic characters. So anything that's set in space, he's kind of directing it a little bit. So he's not completely. He hasn't been completely left.
He hasn't been dropped completely.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Dropped. Thank you. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but it still is. It still sucks.
And it's the reason why it happened sucks. But honestly, I think somebody else directing the next Guardians movie
might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad.
It doesn't sound that bad. You know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought,
but this is not a good reason for it.
This is really kind of scary, the way that this all kind of came about, because now I've always been pretty guarded about what I put up online when it comes to personal accounts and things like that. I don't like sharing a lot of things for this exact reason, but it's become more commonplace that everything you say can and probably will be used against you online at some point, even if it was done years and years and
When
years
you were
before,
15.
back before your brain was totally fully formed.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man!
So
Thank goodness no one uses MySpace anymore.
yeah, right. I
didn't want to know.
I wiped that thing clean.
I wiped my Twitter today of everything past 3 months ago.
I've been thinking about it.
And I know I don't think I said anything bad.
Oh, I know I haven't,
I
but
don't-
still.
I don't want it. You know,
I don't
want to take a
use
chance.
it.
I
Yeah.
don't want it to be taken out of context or whatever.
Exactly.
I saw this post where somebody was like, "Okay, well, we see what you did, Disney," and then they posted like images of really, really awful things Disney did.
Like
back in the
Song of the South or
Yeah. Or the other thing is, they get rid of James Gunn, but Johnny Depp is still on their
they still give him a
payroll,
platform.
who is like, there's no ambiguity about, that guy, man, what a shame, because
I used to really like him.
Edward Scissorhands was pretty good.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
The Pirates movies used
The
to be
first one.
used to be real good. Like
First one's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they stole the entire plot from Monkey Island. But
Well, sure.
I know that's the hill you're gonna die on.
yeah.
All right.
I love Monkey Island so much, you guys.
We know.
Yeah.
And King's Quest and all that other stuff.
Yeah. All right, so hey, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of San Diego Comic-Con news. We don't have a ton of time before the break, so let's do the comic book news.
The actual
comic
part.
book news. I'm sure,
Which is
and
very little.
Just so
Unfortunately.
all of our listeners are aware, we're not covering everything. There's a billion different things that are announced every year at San Diego Comic-Con. It's too much to cover.
If there's something you want us to cover, though, let us know, and we'll do it.
Email us in. We'll talk about it. First things first, we have a couple of announcements coming from Marvel. They have the big one is Gwen Stacy, the Spider-Gwen character, is getting a new code name, and there's a whole handful of comics based around the Spider-Man character that it's going to be released, like Spider-Man adjacent, but not like Peter Parker. The name is going to be changed to Ghost Spider,
Which is as clunky as
it's difficult to say. It's like the like in the middle is like
Spider.
yeah. It's like
Spider Ghost.
Spider
sounds
Ghost.
better.
Yeah,
And even still kind of sounds
Still
like
kind of-
Spider Gwen.
or
Like
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
Yeah. But along with this, there's going to be books featuring Dr. Octopus. There's one that's going to be called Spider Force, which I hope is like a 90s throwback. Like there's like a Cable version of Spider-Man and like Domino version of Spider-Man. Like
So
Rob
Spider-
Liefeld, no
Spider-
feet, a lot of pouches.
I was gonna say spider pouch.
Yeah. Yeah, he keeps just a pouch full of spiders and just throws them.
That's his power. He's got a pouch that has infinite spiders
That's
inside.
it. That's
my
it.
nightmare.
Go, my children! And he snaps open his pouch, and they just come flying out.
Oh, yeah.
So an Australian summer.
Yes, just every day in Australia. Let's see some of the other things. There's been a bunch of X-Men books. Like they're shaking up all of their writers on each one of the teams. They're bringing back the Iceman book, which is pretty cool.
They're being allowed to make X-Men books again.
They're
basically.
right. That's basically it. There's one 5-issue miniseries that I'm actually really interested in reading. It's called X-Men Black, and they're featuring. It's like a spotlight on 5 of the major X-Men villains throughout the years. There isn't a whole lot of news about it, but I follow the writer of the one that's doing Emma Frost. Her name is Leah Williams. I follow her on Twitter, and she has some really, really strong, crazy opinions about Emma Frost that she has been tweeting about for about 6 months prior to this. So I'm really interested to see what she does and actually like makes canon in the books with the character. So it's actually going to be pretty cool. There's going to be from IDW, there's going to be a horror comic one-shot around Halloween that's based in the Star Wars universe called Tales from Vader's Castle.
Now, IDW does the kids' Star Wars books, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is for kids.
This is for kids, but it looks like the art of the cover is done by the guy who did the Afterlife with Archie. God, what's his name?
It's a really good looking
it's a
cover.
great
It's
looking
super
cover.
retro-y. I love
And
it.
When I say it's for kids, I mean
Everyone.
all
everybody,
ages.
yeah.
It's an all ages book, but I like the idea of doing different genres set in the Star Wars universe. I don't think there's been a full blown like horror story.
There was a novel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the garbage
It's
now.
called-
Yeah,
Thanks,
it doesn't
Disney.
happen. That didn't happen anymore. Strike that from your memory.
The novel's actually not that old. It's only a few years old.
Still.
Strike that from your holocrons.
Yeah, it was called Death Troopers. It was about a zombie apocalypse
Oh, right on.
with zombie stormtroopers that were actually smart.
That sounds pretty rad.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. Some of the other stuff. There's been some changes in the writers for DC Comics. The major ones are Grant Morrison is taking over Green Lantern, which is great. It means Green Lantern's going to get weird, and I love it.
Green Lantern needs to get weird.
Yeah, I love Grant Morrison as a writer. He did some great stuff on X-Men back in the early 2000s. He wrote Animal Man.
I've heard
for Vertigo,
the
which is
Invisibles is good.
The Invisibles is really good. He did a lot of Doom Patrol, which was like psychedelic weird stuff, and he did a lot of Final Crisis. He wrote that, and the new multiverse.
He did a lot of New 52 Superman. didn't he?
Multiversity. Do you remember that one where like they did like the 8 issues, like
Yes.
2 bookend books with like 8 issues in the middle and told like a really non-linear kind of weird story set in different parallel universes. He's writing Green Lantern now, and I can't be happier. That's super good news. Also, Kelly Sue DeConnick is writing Aquaman. She's great.
She's a great writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
She writes. I can't say that on the radio.
Yeah, no, she writes some independent books for, I think it's for Image that she writes them for.
Oh, okay. I know the one you're talking about now.
Yeah, but she's
There's a whole planet of them.
Yeah, she's a fantastic writer, and I'm really interested in seeing where she goes with Aquaman.
Also from Marion.
She is from Marion. Yeah, didn't stay here long.
Oh yeah, not here anymore. She got the heck out.
No, like when she was like 4 or 5 or something like that. Although it would be really cool to try to get her on the show.
It would.
Or the one lady who does Lumberjanes in Columbus.
Grace Ellis, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. And the last thing from comics that we can probably talk about. Oh, there's another one. Gail Simone is going to be taking over like an editor-in-chief type spot for independent comic publisher called Catalyst Prime. I'm not really familiar with their books.
I've never heard of the company until
I think
now.
I think they might be a fairly recent startup, but I love
Cool
Gail
name.
Simone.
Gail's great. They give her whatever platform she wants. Yeah.
Just anything. She does fantastic work. Like she's been writing Red Sonja lately, and it's like the first time I've enjoyed reading Red Sonja, because I'm not usually a sword and sorcery type of.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the Red Sonja books weren't that great.
Yeah. Well, now they are.
Until she started writing.
Yeah. Now they're super good.
I read the first issue of her Conan Wonder Woman crossover, and it was very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they did that.
And last up, and probably most important, Batman got his undies back.
Yay.
Yeah, so they're going to be reintroducing the classic design Batman costume into the
They're
comics.
tidy whities with the Bat logo all over them.
Just all over them, just right on the crotch. Just one big one right on the crotch.
Black Y front with white undies with the Bat logo.
That's it. Yep.
No, they're just regular black.
But no, they're going back to a more classic design, because for years they had almost like a hyper realistic style. It almost mimicked the Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight costume, where it looked more like battle armor a little bit. There's like more ribbing and kind of like. Yeah.
He was just jealous of Superman getting his underwear back, which also recently happened.
That happened about 6 months to a year ago. So I knew it was going to happen eventually. But it's super good. I don't know what it is, but I like classic designs.
It breaks up the colors.
There's a reason why it's been there for 100 million years.
Yeah. The underwear itself like breaks up the colors for sure, but like it depends on the character certainly, but like the more detailed and more realistic an artist draws the costumes on superhero characters, the less I tend to like them.
Well, the more
give me goofy looking impossible things, because comics are about impossible things.
It goes around and all the way back around and makes it silly.
Yeah,
because now he is a man running around in a onesie and through the neighborhood fighting crime, but he looks like
it looks right.
It looks like real.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for comic news. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get into a ton of trailers.
While we're on break, follow Gail Simone on Twitter.
Yeah, she is wonderful. She is a delight on Twitter. Like, excellent. Like, yeah, go do that. So go do that. We'll be back. More San Diego Comic-Con news. Hey, we're back. That was Heart of Glass by Blondie. It's a great song. I
Yes.
enjoy it.
Blondie's good. Blondie is good.
It's very good.
Seal
So
of approval.
They're not bad brownies.
That is a type
Kick
of
you
brownie.
out.
all right,
I want
so
brownies.
we can't keep talking about food like this.
This is me poisoning the well.
Hey, we haven't had an episode where we talk
That's
about
right.
fast food.
We
for
haven't
the
talked about
entire-
fast food and local restaurant chains for a while. That's very true. Yeah.
So I went to El Campesino last night. No, we're here to talk
seriously.
about San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep. And Josh, why did we play Heart of Glass by Blondie?
Well, a long time ago.
In a galaxy
Long time
far-
ago.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan did a movie.
That wasn't terrible.
No, it was great.
It was probably, I would argue it's his best one.
It was back when, you know.
I've never seen it.
Of course not.
Dang it.
This is how I promote the other show.
Anyway,
But I haven't. I haven't seen Unbreakable.
So-
Well, you need to see Unbreakable. It's really good.
Unbreakable had Bruce Willis and
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes. I don't know why my mind blanked for a second. I think I was still thinking of Ant-Man. I almost said Lawrence Fishburne. I don't need an angry video from Samuel Jackson
Paul Rudd.
and Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was also in Unbreakable. No, he wasn't.
Okay, no, let's.
But he was in a commercial for the Super Nintendo.
He was.
He was.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's right.
it's true.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's tangent.
anyway,
So,
Unbreakable.
about
Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes, M. Night Shyamalan's The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
what a twist. It was funny. Well, at least the first season.
Yeah, it kind of went downhill on the side. I never
Yeah,
finished
well,
the second
anyway.
season.
So anyway.
Anyway,
um,
let's. Okay.
Bruce Willis. Did it come out before?
It was after. It was the one directly after Sixth Sense.
Okay.
So Bruce Willis is alive in this one.
Yes.
He is
yeah.
alive.
Where he plays an individual who is apparently unbreakable.
Yeah, throughout the course of the movie, you discover that the guy survived a train crash. He's the only survivor of it, and slowly discovers that he
Is invincible.
is invincible, basically.
Like the Tick.
Yeah, kinda. And he has a kind of a sixth sense where if he touches someone and they've done wrong, he can kind of get flashes of
But
what
not
they've done.
the Sixth Sense.
Not the Sixth Sense. No, that's a different movie.
Only Haley Joel Osment has that.
Yeah, he gets like this weird, like almost like Ghost Rider, like
A little bit.
Sin Flash or whatever.
Kind of, something like that. And the whole movie was based around the idea that comic books were based on mythology. Like, you know, like the story of Hercules and stuff like that were all based on, very, very loosely based on actual, like, real people.
Yeah.
And that comic were like the modern version
Modern
of that.
mythology.
Kind of.
And Bruce Willis was one of these mythological figures.
It sounds like
Right.
a early Neil Gaiman comic book.
It kind
In
of
a, way,
does.
in a way, yeah.
A little
yeah.
bit.
The whole concept does.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
But also the big twist at the end of the movie was this guy that
Because
Bruce Willis.
of course there was one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back when these were back when these were good twists.
Well, let's not spoil the twist because.
Oh, that's
Curtis
right.
Oh, yeah, I
watched
haven't seen it.
Oh,
yeah.
right,
We're not
right,
going
right.
to. No.
Don't. Yeah,
We've
don't.
probably already talked too much about
Because
it.
that's
But
probably the next episode of.
probably. Yeah. So anyway.
Anyway,
No, I haven't seen that. A podcast on the Nerd Overload Podcast Network. Check your local podcast checker wherever you get podcasts. No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. We should listen to it. All right.
The first and only podcast about movies.
No one's done it before.
It's amazing.
A brand new thing.
so fresh.
Yeah. Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan also did a more recent movie.
Yes. Flash forward to a couple years ago.
Yes, called Split.
Which
Yes.
I have seen and is very good.
And I haven't seen it.
There's another episode.
It's the only M. Night movie I've never seen.
I'm sorry. I'm
I know.
sorry you've seen so many M. Night movies.
Yeah.
I used to really like him, and then all the crap started coming out.
Yeah. Right.
Then it happened, and by it I mean the happening.
Okay. Here we go. We got to stay on target. We're getting way out of
Yeah.
there. Okay.
We have a lot of stuff to cover.
So Split was a
Split was a movie about a individual with
multiple personalities.
personalities.
Played by James McAvoy very well.
Yes.
Oh,
You've probably seen the memes with "That's not me, that's Patricia." So anyway,
The
Yeah.
big twist at the end of that. Oh wait, Don't
Well,
wanna
I already
spoil it.
know it. I already
Oh,
know
okay.
it.
Yeah.
The big twist at the end of that movie is that it takes place in the universe that Unbreakable took place in.
Right. Yeah. James McAvoy's character eventually kind of gets a kind of unified kind of personality or like a more bestial kind of personality, and he gains like super strength, basically.
It's another personality called the Beast that lives with him.
Yeah, and you find out that it's set in the Unbreakable universe,
Yes.
and
So the next movie, Glass,
had a trailer. First trailer.
Had a trailer.
Yeah, the first trailer dropped at San Diego Comic-Con,
Yes.
which is what we've been trying to get to
Yes.
for the past 10 minutes.
Wow.
Way to go! Way to go
Yes.
through a movie history lesson.
Anyway, that trailer hit with all three of the main characters: McAvoy, Sam Jackson, and Bruce Willis, and it looks phenomenal.
This is the Avengers of the M. Night Shyamalan cinematic universe.
It kind of is. And Shyamalan has said that he doesn't plan on having any more movies set in this universe. He always had the idea for 3, and that was going to be it. And I'm in. Like, it looks super good.
Yeah, I'm definitely in for the in ride.
Yeah. It's I'm a little concerned that it's going to become a little too grand of scope. Like, if they start introducing more and more people who actually have some kind of power, that might be a little weird.
It becomes a huge superhero universe.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. But I would like it if they just kind of kept it to a relatively small cast.
Yeah.
But, everything in the trailer kind of indicated that that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's not about J.D. Salinger's Glass family.
No, it's not about...
Okay.
No. And the best part about the trailer
And
is...
it's not the end of the Sandman. Now he gets it.
No, I like how you're just completely ignoring our stupid aside.
Well, listen, we have a lot of news to get through, guys. We got a lot to get through.
It looks like a good trailer.
It looks like a really
It's gonna
good
be a
trailer.
movie.
Yeah, okay. It looks really good. I like that Bruce Willis looks like he's giving a crap. Like, he actually looks like he
Yeah,
might act
that's
in this
always
movie.
nice.
That's nice for a change,
It's
because
not
last couple
G.I.
it's been
Joe
kind
too.
of... Yeah, it's been pretty... He's been pretty lifeless.
You mean like Death Wish?
Like all of the movies
I
he's
can't
done
believe
lately.
they made a Death Wish
know.
movie.
Yeah, it's rotten. All right. So anyway, Glass looks good. Let's move on to some other trailers. Let's talk about the Godzilla. Is it King of the Monsters?
Ooh,
Yeah, it looks real
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Lots of monsters in this one.
I'm super
And
excited.
Godzilla.
Godzuki.
Godzuki.
Godzilla.
Is he going to be in this movie?
Oh man.
I hope not.
God, I hope so.
But it is a sequel to the 2014 Godzilla film.
Yeah, these
from
are
Legendary.
the American-made ones by
Yeah.
Legendary, not
Yes.
not Shin Godzilla that was done by the Evangelion guy.
And was fantastic.
Yeah, had that weird like floppy looking around like Godzilla proto form with
Yeah.
like the bug eyes.
God, that movie was good.
It was good and weird, and he had lasers that shot out of his tail, like multiple lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a rad movie.
Yeah.
It was a crazy movie. Anyway.
Yeah.
An American Godzilla was pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
it was.
And here's another one.
It's kind of a bait and switch with Bryan Cranston, but other than that, that's all right.
I
But
don't go to a
this
Godzilla
one-
movie to watch the human characters.
Yeah, to
Right,
see Bryan
exactly.
Cranston, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a little too much of the human characters in the other one, but overall the Godzilla stuff
Though-
was so cool.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the earlier Godzilla films, Godzilla is almost like a back piece. Mm-hmm. He is the event,
Yeah.
and you're
He's
watching.
almost a force of nature.
He is a force of nature, and you're watching how mankind
Deals
copes
with
and
it, yeah.
deals with that.
Yes.
If there's too much Godzilla, then it's not as cool when he is there.
Yeah. Right. Right. That's the only issue that I'm kind of scared about with this, because there's going to be a lot of monsters, and I love monsters. Don't get me wrong. I love fighting monsters, especially when they fight each other. That's super great.
Man, I'm kind of hoping this is like my Godzilla Pacific Rim.
Yeah. I kind of like how in the trailer it looked like they subtly kind of hinted that each of the monsters had like a element, was tied to an element. Like Godzilla rises out from the ocean, and Rodan like was
Shoots
on
out
top
of a volcano.
was outside of a volcano.
That's who
and,
that
like,
was. Rodan.
Which, by the way, is within canon of Rodan's character, because in the original Rodan movie, he is found within a dormant volcano.
Right. I think they made at least the larva form of Mothra is like kind of built out of Earth a little bit. Like the cocoon looked like it was built like had like
It was hard to
moss and-
tell.
Yeah, it was kind
It
of
was
hard to tell. But Ghidorah was definitely like an air or like space, because he was like a space monster.
He was sent from space in the original films, anyway.
I really hope that the two tiny Japanese ladies
Yes.
from Mothra are in
Yes,
this
I
movie.
really hope so.
Mothra is a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
It's dumb. It's dumb as hell, but it's a good movie.
I tell you though, that scene in the trailer when Mothra opens up his wings is like
super.
That is
good.
Yeah.
a super
yeah.
well. It's framed really well. It looks really good.
It looks great.
I'm just hoping when we get to that scene in the movie that the musical score matches, because that's like my thing. Like
Yes.
I love movie scores.
I'm definitely down for more Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
Same here. Always. Let's see. We have a couple of DC things we could talk about real quick.
The Incredible Wet Man.
Yeah, Aquaman. It looks great.
Moisture the Barbarian.
I think it looks really fun. I kind of like that. What's his name? Jason Momoa puts just enough care into the part to kind of play it, but not like take it seriously. You can tell he's just kind of goofing around a little bit.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's just.
And that's the
him.
best way to do
I feel
it.
like he's
Yeah.
just him.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good, but trailers for DC movies have looked good before.
Yeah.
So
I've
don't
been burned one too many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
don't get your hopes up, but it looks like it could be good.
Cautiously optimistic about this one. It is interesting how they are able to make him always look sweaty and dirty, even when he's underwater.
I saw somebody on Twitter complaining that he didn't look wet on the poster. And it's like, he's underwater. You don't look wet when you're in the water.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, other DC trailers,
Yes.
Shazam looks very good.
It looks really good.
I have a couple thoughts on Shazam.
Okay, let's hear him.
I hate the costume so
It
much.
looks silly, but it kind of works for me.
Yeah, I think
Like the heavy underpadding is really evident.
Because Zachary Levi's
Well,
in
I
there.
understand.
Zachary Levi
that.
is like
Chuck's
incredibly.
in there.
He's really skinny. I don't think there's never an amount of muscle mass that dude can put on and actually look beefy. There's no way. So they had
And
to
that
put a
really
muscle suit underneath him.
goofy LED lightning bolt on the chest.
That's
Yeah,
based
that's
on the
a-
new 52 design.
That's a little silly, yeah, I'll
a
give you
little
that.
bit, but
I could see it glowing when he's using his powers, but the fact that it's on all the time and it casts this really bright, heinous yellow underglow on under his face.
But at least it matches the wizard. Like the wizard has that
Yeah, he
same,
had the same
so
thing,
it kind of works.
I saw one of my friends was talking about online. Talking about, it's like, man, I'm not happy about Zachary Levi. He's going to look ridiculous standing across the field from The Rock as Black Adam.
But you know what? The Rock isn't in any of the cast listings. I looked it up on IMDb.
Really?
He's been kind of removed. So, the villain in this is Dr. Savannah, who's being played by Mark Strong.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, that's who that was. Which is interesting. It's an interesting choice because Dr. Savannah's like Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But like, he's just Lex Luthor, basically. But serious, kind of.
It looks like they're taking it as seriously as you should take a comic book about a boy who gets his superpowers from a wizard.
A wizard in a train station.
Yeah, and turns into a grown man when he says a magic word.
Yep. It looks great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm stoked for this one.
I will say this: the colors are brighter, they're more vivid. There definitely seems to be a lot more levity to it.
It seems legitimately funny and not like forced.
Well, here's the thing. These are the first. This one and Aquaman are the first two movies that were made post Justice League and all the backlash from how dark and grim and awful that movie was. So these are like reactions to it, and you could definitely tell that they're trying to take a page out of
The
Marvel's
Marvel
book. Aquaman looks like underwater Black Panther.
Oh yeah, 100% Wet Panther.
The Wet Panther. That's definitely what it is. And Shazam has some elements of it's more comedy based. So,
Yeah.
I would almost say Ant-Man in the comedy section, not so much in
Yeah.
in tone, but not in theme, I guess. It's definitely lighter, maybe
Maybe more like the first Thor.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
'cause-
I could see that.
Yeah, a little bit.
But they also feel different enough that they don't feel exactly like Marvel knockoffs, I think.
Yes, and I think and I'm just glad that they're making kind of a tonal shift, and I think a lot of that comes to Zack Snyder no longer being attached. I mean, it's a kind of a shame how the reason
He
why
became unattached.
He's
Yeah.
not attached to it, but
And Joss Whedon's not.
Joss Whedon's-
Well,
Yeah.
we will
Yeah.
see. I am more interested to see Shazam than I am Aquaman.
Yeah.
sure,
But also Aquaman was probably some of my favorite parts in Justice League.
yeah, well, yeah, because he knew that he was in a bad movie.
Oh yeah.
So he was just
just
goofing
riding it
around.
out. I dig it.
They
So
didn't have anything for Wonder Woman, but it is officially called Wonder Woman 1984 now, right?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And there's only been a couple of on-set shot like stills, And I'm really interested in seeing where how Kristen Wiig does as the cheetah.
Yeah.
Like that's an really interesting casting. Like I would not have initially thought to cast Kristen Wiig in a, more
actiony
kind of more serious kind of
actiony
role.
But I
it
100% believe that she could do it.
No, absolutely. So let's switch gears, do some more DC stuff, but this is angry, sad things that I don't like. So there's a trailer for...
Wait a minute. That was the most positive we have been about the DC Cinematic Universe in the entire run of this podcast.
I know.
So
history has been made.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, I don't know, man. We got pretty gushy on Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah,
we did.
Never mind.
That's true.
I forget that's a DC movie.
Right, because it's so good, right?
Good.
Yeah. There's a trailer for the Titans live-action TV series based
on
off
the
of
DC Universe app or whatever.
Yeah,
they're calling
it was supposed to be on TBS, and they dropped it, so now it's just on the app. And
I wonder why.
oh boy, this looks like a mess.
One, folks, this was a quote-unquote rated R TV show trailer.
Well, it's because they drop language.
Exactly.
Yeah, cover your
They say
ears,
some words.
kids, because Robin's got a dirty mouth.
He's got a big old pouty mouth. Has some real choice words to say about Batman.
So those
don't talk about your dad that way.
Those Teen Titans characters that your kids like that they watch on the Cartoon Network all the time? It's those guys, but now they're saying F words.
Yeah,
and killing people.
Yeah.
It looks real bad. It looks so bad. Although I saw online this comparison, and I agree with it. It's almost Riverdale, but superheroes. So there might be a point.
I could almost get behind.
Yeah, I could almost get behind that. I could almost see myself watching the first couple episodes just because I gotta know.
Yeah.
I gotta know, like how bad.
I mean, I'm 2.5 seasons into Riverdale for some reason.
That gets bonkers.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's dumb. It's crazy, stupid, and terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like it.
Yeah. Just trash, garbage television.
Yeah.
Just eat it up.
Garbage.
Anyway, Titans.
Yeah. Titans.
Go.
Yep.
No, not Teen Titans Go Away.
Yeah.
Hey, the new movie came out this weekend. I kind of want to go watch it.
I kind of want to see that too.
Like for a while, it had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
See, that's wild to me.
So it must be pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, it has a Lauren Faust directed DC superhero girls short in front of it.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
cool.
that in the new trailer.
And I want to see
excellent.
that.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
But to be fair, Titans Go was the battle cry before that show. So you can get off my bread buns there, Cody.
All right, so let's see. We have one or two more DC things, then we can move on to some general other stuff. So there's something about the Batwoman show on
There's
CW.
going to be a Batwoman show on CW. First, she's going to show up on, I think it was Arrow.
Which makes sense. She's more serious of a character.
Sure, it was Arrow.
I mean, that is the more Batman-like series.
It is Batman.
It's Batman with arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's green Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to show up on Arrow for 4 or 5 episodes or whatever, and then she's going to get her own spinoff, which is very cool.
Kind of like what Flash did.
Yeah.
Right. And we should probably clarify that when we're saying Batwoman and not Batgirl, they're completely different characters.
Batwoman is Kate Kane.
Kate Kane. She is one of DC's more prominent LGBT superheroes, which is pretty cool. Her backstory, she was a Golden Age character initially that had ties that were very, very close to Batman, but this new incarnation is almost none.
They originally created her to try and make Batman not look gay.
Yeah. But nowadays, when she was reintroduced,
now
she
is gay.
Yeah.
And was a vampire at one point.
She was a vampire at one point. That's very true.
She has a cool costume.
Yes.
It's really rad.
Black and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. But yeah, she has very few ties to Batman other than
the name.
She's also rich and also fights crime. And uses bats.
And has a bat moniker.
Yeah,
I'm
but
down
that's really
for this.
about it.
I don't watch the other CW shows, but I'll check this out.
I'll give it a shot.
Wasn't she
Sure.
part of Batman Inc. at one point?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, because I thought they had all the Bat people under
That
one
was
roof
like
there
the
for a minute.
closest
family.
she got to like the Bat family kind of lineup sort of thing.
She was in that Bat Family animated movie. I forget what it was called.
Oh, Bad Blood.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I own it.
All right, so let's move on to some other stuff. Cody, what can you tell me about Disenchantment?
It is the new animated series by Simpsons creator Matt Groening. It very much looks like fantasy Futurama.
It does. A lot.
On Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. It looks so good.
August 17th?
And when has Matt Groening ever done you wrong?
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like it's going to have a little bit more of a kind of a moral kind of
It actually has a
arc
story
to it, like
Yeah.
a overarking story arc rather than just standalone episodes.
Maybe a little BoJacky.
Yeah, maybe.
BoJack Horseman-y.
Yep, and actually, probably how Futurama, the end of Futurama, kind of got, because by the end they were kind of doing kind of an overarching kind of, Fry was kind of trying to become a better person a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say from the Hollow Flute or the Holophone,
Holophoner.
episode kind of on, you kind of see him trying to slowly become more of a
better person. Yeah.
And I think this show's going to have a little more of that, which is cool.
The worms.
Yeah.
I like that her name is Princess Bean. I think that's cute.
Yeah.
I like that Bart Simpson elf.
Yeah,
He
that's
looks
all
like
he
Bart.
is.
He looks like the he looks
just
like
like Bart.
he looks like the
That's a part.
he looks like the Bart Simpson monsters from the Treehouse of Horror episodes.
He looks like one of the happy little elves,
Yes, he does.
Oh my
which is
That's
like
right.
a first season.
Oh yeah, that
Simpsons
is.
callback.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
And the little demon guy looks totally like old school Life in Hell Matt Groening.
Oh yeah, it looks like
drawing.
really flat. Like it's
very
great.
cool. I'm
yeah,
very
he's
excited.
he's super flat like shadow
Yeah.
like character.
Comes out August 17th, and I'm very excited.
Yep.
Also, the fact I love the fact that Princess Bean has like a buck tooth.
Oh yeah, she has
Yeah.
buck teeth. That's really cool.
Like she's not like just some pretty girl. She's just looks like a person.
Yeah. Well, as close to a person as you
a
can in Matt Groening art
yes.
style.
But hey, they're not yellow people.
Yeah.
No,
They'll-
only the
it-
Simpsons.
it's not a world of jaundice.
Only the Simpsons are yellow.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a trailer for the next season of Doctor Who.
Looks good.
Looks good.
It looks like the new Doctor is kind of a lighter, Matt Smithier Doctor.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that works.
At least now.
Yeah.
Even Matt Smith got kind of dark-ish
Yeah.
toward the middle to the end of the series.
He had his times.
Yeah.
I will say this about Matt Smith. He was one egotistical doctor. He had his moments. Mm-hmm. There's one thing you don't put in a trap, and that's me. Hated it.
I just feel so bad for Capaldi because I love him so much, and I thought he was such a good doctor, but they didn't give him good material.
Yeah, they
They
did
did
not
him
write
dirty.
him
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
It got better toward the end, but
Yeah,
it
it
was
did.
but it did have a really weak showing there at the beginning, like super weak.
Oh, there was just some episodes that were just so bad.
Yeah,
like
they were almost
Yeah, we-
unwatchable.
eye booger monsters.
Yeah, we looked at tough after that. We're like, what did we
Yeah.
just watch?
Thank God that they're doing a new showrunner because
He was done.
I forget his name, but he definitely
Stephen
ran his,
Moffat.
Yeah, Moffat definitely ran his course.
Moffat was a good writer. I don't think he was that great of a showrunner. He was definitely no Russell T Davies.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
But anyway, they didn't really show anything in the trailer other than flashes of some of the new characters.
A lot of companions this time. I think 3.
I think so.
But the thing is, are they
think
going to
that's
be
what
all
it
at
said.
once?
That's a good point that I didn't think of. Maybe they're not all at the same time.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't have much of a dog in this fight because I don't watch a whole lot of Doctor Who, but that trailer looked really good.
You're going to check it out.
Oh,
with
I got to watch the first
with
episode.
New Lady Doctor.
Oh yeah, I got to for sure. Let's see. Captain Pike's going to be in Star Trek Discovery.
That's cool.
That's cool. They were hinting at there was going to be an original series character that was going to pop up in Discovery for the second season.
And if you're
everyone
gonna
thought
do
it was going to
that-
be young Kirk. Turns out it's Captain Pike, and that's really great.
Yeah.
And technically Spock.
Yeah, Spock's going to
Kind of Spock.
Yeah.
kind of. They're looking for Spock.
So the
Would you
ship
say
that-
they're doing a search
Search for
for
Spock.
Spock?
Yeah, and then they make a voyage home.
God!
to undiscovered country.
I'm leaving.
My thing is, the ship that Pike shows up on, I didn't really get a good look at the...
It's the Enterprise.
Is it the Enterprise?
Oh, yeah.
Did it say Enterprise on
Yes.
it? Okay.
Cool. So the Enterprise is showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the most original of series cast characters.
But I think if you're going to pull somebody from the original series, Pike is the one that's going to be the makes
Well,
the most
yeah,
sense.
because he was the one that was... Like, he's always been there in the canon, but it's...
But there's
been-
not. Oh, yeah, there's plenty they can flesh out without button heads against established canon.
Like, he's in the pilot, and then you have the episode later where he's in the sweatbox with the lights.
Yeah, and I really like the updated design.
The
from,
yellow
like,
the yellow
classic-
tunic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. At first, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it because I'm looking at it and it's got that weird, sharp overcollar on it.
I don't know. I need to go back and watch Discovery now because I watched the first 2 episodes, really liked them, and then just didn't.
From what I understand, it got really kind of weak near the middle, but by the end, the second half of the series started introducing a mirror universe.
Nice.
Like one of the characters was like permanently stuck, like swapped or something like that.
With the goatee.
Basically, yeah. But no, I guess the second half of that first season it got really good.
I love the Mirrorverse. That's like some of my favorite Star Trek
some of the best stuff.
That's a good episode.
Yeah.
The comic Shattered Mirror was the next is a next gen story with the Mirrorverse, and it was so good.
Does Mir Picard have hair?
No.
Oh man,
but
he has so good.
But he has a sleeveless tunic and he's super buff.
He should have a John Waters mustache.
Oh, that would be great.
No.
Data's like half Borg.
Okay, sure, I can see that.
It's really good. And it's like every panel is painted.
Oh man.
Ah,
That
cool.
sounds good.
It's really, really good.
Let's not get stuck on this tangent. That's
Anyway,
fine.
but yes.
Anyway.
I love Star Trek. I feel bad. I feel like a bad Star Trek fan because I have not seen any of Discovery.
You should get on that. It's good from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't watch Orville past the first episode, so
We watched almost all of Orville. It's really good.
The last thing we have is a reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sure.
Sure, why not?
It's been a long time. Why
Yeah.
not?
everything's coming back. So why not?
Sure, I'd be in.
And apparently Buffy is black now, which I'm sure ruffles the feathers of a
It's
lot of
gonna
jerks.
ruffle a lot of feathers. But
Here's the
you
thing.
know what?
Even canonically in the universe, it's not the first time we've had a black Slayer. There was one alongside Buffy in the series.
This is exactly the same argument people do about Doctor Who. Being a woman, it's canonically already been proven that it could happen. That doesn't change people's minds, unfortunately.
I know.
It doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't.
I
It's-
know.
It's frustrating.
If only it were that simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
But,
don't like change.
yeah.
But whatever.
Go ahead and wrap things up. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
Hey, do you do social media? You probably do.
Of course you do.
Most people do. You can find us on most forms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
Do it.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nerd Overload TV. Send us an email, review our show on iTunes, tell your friends.
Yep, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, just about anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find our show. And I think that's pretty much it. So, again, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Pizza out.